feels surreal to be doing this again. Okay. Actually, let me just do this, because this is much easier. God, it feels weird to do this after so long. Okay, and I guess I probably should, put on a shirt, just for safety reasons. Even though it's kind of hot, but whatever. Alright. I guess this gives me plenty of catch-up time. Catch-up time, catch-up time. Okay. There we go. Wait, did I get it? Did I just put my... Okay. Damn it. There we go. There we go. Feels so weird to be doing this again. Okay. Did I forget to put a title on the... Yes, I did. Oh well. Okay. Yeah, leave it to me. Alright. We'll just leave that on in the background. God, this is so weird to be doing right now. Okay, kind of waiting for us to get any kind of audience before saying any... Oh, we have an audience. Hola, senor. Hola, senor Pipi. Okay. Okay. Welcome to Wonder After Dark. I'm so used to saying another title. We don't appear to have an audience other than you at the moment, but the show must go on, so I'm going to carry on anyway. Even if we don't... I apologize. This is going to be a fun one. Anyway, I'm still going to carry on anyway. We might get an audience, we might not. If we don't, I apologize. But, the show must go on. So, plus I already scheduled this, I already wanted to do it, might as well. We're not here to talk about Armageddon. I was just watching it earlier, and it's left over from another recording I was doing. Nope. We're going to talk about a funny little show. That show involves Technicolor ponies. So yeah, I guess we should give a little, though before we do that, I guess we should give a little bit of background as to what this show is and, well, I would say why you, a unit, should care, but just why anyone should care. So, about a year ago, on a channel that will remain nameless, just nameless, not going to give a name, just nameless, I started doing a show in which I would record TikToks and or other videos live on camera. This show ran for about 149... Is it the... I'm recording. Special guest appearance, sister. Special guest appearance, my sister. Anyway, but where I was going with this. So, about a year ago, I did a show in which I would record a TikTok live on camera, and my dog is staring at the door, which means my sister is still at the door. Okay, never mind. Anyway, back to me being stupid. Yeah, this show that I'm referring to, which will also remain nameless, even though it doesn't exist anymore, ran for 149 episodes. After 149, I kind of gave that show, which does not exist anymore, a kind of soft reboot. I changed the name, the format kind of updated a bit. Episodes went up from 15 to 20 minutes. You look like Jesus. Anyway, add that to the list. Okay, but anyway, this show. Anyway, back to what I was saying. After 149 episodes of the recording show, I kind of updated the show, gave it a new name. It was kind of a soft reboot of itself, and just leaving that on in the background. Soft reboot, new name. The format kind of changed a little bit. Went from like 14 to 20 minutes to an hour. No, this is not going to go on for an hour, don't worry. And, you know, it felt like the show was starting to develop. Well, anyway, after a disastrous broadcast in early June, I won't elaborate, but it was a disaster, I was both advised to and decided to put the show on an indefinite hiatus. I was advised to do so by he who shall remain nameless unless referred to in passing. But anyway, although that indefinite was starting to look really indefinite, I would later come to find out it would be more like a permanent hiatus. Yeah, that's lovely. But we're back, and this time it's more of a hard reboot. Yes, I might make callbacks to the show that does not exist anymore. Yes, I might refer to some events, but this is a whole new entity. So yeah, what are we talking about on this episode of Wonder After Dark, also known as Jesus Christ Talks to You for an undiscernible amount of time? Well, on this episode, we're going to talk My Little Pony. Yes, of all things. Specifically, Friendship is Magic. Now, although it needs no introduction at all, I'm still going to introduce it anyway. The Castlevania. Let's just roll with that. Castlevania, Castlevania, Castlevania. Anyway, I don't know shit about Castlevania, but anyway. Even though Friendship is Magic needs... I love it when Jesus talks to me about Castlevania. Oh, I'm gonna love doing this again. Anyway, even though Friendship is Magic needs no introduction, we're still going to introduce it. Because believe it or not, there are some doofuses out there who don't know what My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is. And if you're one of those doofuses, please join the community ASAP. Anyway, so for those who don't know, yes, I'm really about to read off of Wikipedia verbatim. For those who don't know, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is an animated television series based on Hasbro's My Little Pony franchise. The series follows a studious pony named Twilight Sparkle, voiced by Tara Strong, and her assistant Spike, and her friends. They go on adventures and help others around Equestria, solving problems with their friendships. Okay, pretty simple show, pretty simple premise. How did that become so popular? Better question. What made it so popular? Better question is not how did it become popular. Better question is, can you say cultural impact? Because the show ran for 9 seasons over 9 years and had a grand total of 221 episodes. 221 episodes, 9 seasons and 9 years. Can you say big success? I sure can. Yeah. But yeah. So now we know what the show is, even though most of you probably already know. But now we know what the show is. So I guess we can talk about why somebody with a ding-dong is talking about it. So, my interest, fascination, and overall love of the franchise kind of started more by accident than design. I mean, granted, don't all of my interests pretty much start that way? But yeah, anyway, but it kind of started more by accident than design. You see, over the years, I would get kind of off and on exposure to My Little Pony, but typically when I would, it was always either, when my family was like out in public, like Walmart, Target, toy department, or it was more often than not, it was because it was on in the background when my sister would be watching TV in the living room. I never willingly sat down and watched it for many years. But I will admit, something about it always did catch my eye. I don't know what it was, but something about it just clicked with me. I don't know if it was the characters. I don't know if it was the character design. I don't even know if it was the concept of, I guess, forbidden fruit, but something about it just clicked with me back then. For context, back then would be 2010 when the show premiered up to I want to say 2017. Granted, my sister didn't start watching it until, oh God, what does this say? Oh, just wait, it gets even better. But anyway, but where I was going with this, but I would never bring myself to watch it for many, many years. This was because, well, number one, out of frame. Number two, me being a sexist pig when I was a kid, I just saw it as a girls' show. Which, I mean, you can be any age and any gender and like My Little Pony and other similar shows, but, it is aimed at that demographic. You do have to admit that. I'm not trying to sound like one of those people, but that's the intended audience. But anyway, but yeah, on and off exposure for many, many years is what I would get. Then, I would say the story really began 2 places. First place is 2019, when I basically had a rather interesting night at the movies with the Paramount Pictures and John Cena comedy Playing with Fire. This film features a lot of My Little Pony. In fact, it's basically a plot point in this movie. I won't elaborate any further. I'm trying to keep this either under an hour or close. But anyway. But yeah, this movie had a lot of My Little Pony in it. And for context, timeline context, this would be 2019. that was an interesting night at the movies with my dad. I'm not being sarcastic when I say that. That it genuinely was an interesting, fun night. He liked it, I liked it. It was a nice little movie. Enough of that, though. After this, that felt like the end of the story. Until one fateful day in, it was either 2021 or 2022. That general time frame. When I saw one of those, if you use Twitter, you probably see those tweets that are like, 20 years ago, Spider-Man 2 released in theaters, or, 30 years ago, this happened, or a second plane has hit the Pentagon, stuff like that. Yeah, I saw one of those that said, like, this many years ago, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic came to an end. I don't know what it was about this tweet when I saw it, but it threw me for a whirl. Especially because in my little head, fun fact, at this point in the timeline, I just assumed the show was still airing, like new episodes. I mean, again, this was before I knew anything, really, but I just assumed it was still going at this time in history. So to see this tweet basically say, like, hey, dumbass, it's been over for this many years, I was like, wait, what? It's over? So of course I had to forward this to the first person my brain cells laid themselves upon. That became a lovely little boomerang effect. So, to basically summarize this next part of the story, what was a moment of culture shock for two people, me and he who I am alluding to, then became a shitpost ironic enjoyment, which then became a morbid curiosity, which then became a genuine interest, and here we are now. Yeah. So I would say I'm a fan. Yeah. Now you might be wondering, dude, woman, whatever you identify as, surely your parents question that, right? Look at your face, Jesus Hermondo Christ. Well, fun fact, my dad does not seem to know. My mom knows, but she doesn't care. She's not really judgmental. Oh, sure, I did kind of get picked on a little bit when she first picked up on it, but it wasn't like the bad kind of picking on where it's like, ha! It was more like, oh. Like, still with the finger, but just kind of like accepting, like, oh. Yeah. Yeah. So my mom knows I'm a fan. And she doesn't really care, which is good. But we're not here to talk about my relationship with my parents. In fact, we're not even here to talk about the fact that my parents have kind of a rocky relationship as it is. No, specifically, I want to talk, well, the show. So, a while back, around 2022, going into 2023, I finally decided to sit down and watch My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. How so? Well, good. Yeah. Well, anyway, where I was going with this, glad to know that we're both on good terms with our mothers. But anyway, but basically, where I was going with this. He who shall remain nameless, but is different from the other person that I'm keeping nameless, sent me the show on Internet Archive, better known as Wayback Machine. The whole series, actually, because fun fact, Hasbro has made it pretty fucking hilarious. Hasbro has made it pretty hard to come by, pretty hard to watch the show, officially. Obviously, you can pirate the show, but in terms of official releases, ain't no way I'm telling. Smart move. Smart move, Mr. Spider. Anyway, but basically, also, yeah, no way I'm telling my dad either. But anyway, carrying on with my on-camera ramblings about a kid's show, a great kid's show, but still a kid's show. basically, Hasbro has made it pretty hard to watch the show in terms of official releases. Obviously, I know you can pirate it, and I watched it on Internet Archive, but in terms of official releases, the DVDs, yes, I do have to go into physical media territory. The DVDs go up to Season 7, plus the movie. Seasons 1 through 7 were released by Shout Factory, and the movie was released by Lionsgate. Seasons 1 through 7 are only on DVD. The movie got both DVD and Blu-ray. Okay, well that's most of the show. I'm not counting Equestria Girls at the moment. I'm saving that for another time. But that's most of the show. They never released Seasons 8 or 9 on DVD. If I remember correctly, the UK got Season 8, but no country to my knowledge has gotten Season 9. There are bootleg releases out there, but there are no, like, official releases of the last two on DVD in North America that I'm aware of. Okay, so what about, Netflix? Because it's streaming on Netflix in the US. Yeah, for some reason on Netflix, the show only goes up to Season 4. No idea where 5 through 9 went, but okay. So Internet Archive it is. But anyway, watched it on Internet Archive. Now, before I get into my thoughts on the show, I guess I should say how much progress I made. Ironically, using Netflix. So, going to Netflix, because it's actually been a while since I've checked, I got about... Alright, I got roughly... I want to say it was about right here, either episode 7 or episode 8, before I dropped it. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, you got bored, or oh, you lost interest. No, that ain't what happened. And no, I didn't get caught by my dad either. No, I just can't really think of a reason why I ended up dropping the show, but I just kind of dropped it. I just stopped. I have no idea why. I just did. But I do plan to pick it back up. So, especially because lately my interest has kind of shot back up. It was kind of not dwindling, not going away, but it was kind of down here. Now it's shooting back up again. Especially because of a certain 1 gigabyte mobile game that I'm also going to save for another time. But we're not here to talk the mobile game today. We're here to talk the show. Anyway, I'm not really going to recap the episodes that I've seen. I'm just going to talk what I've seen and what I think of the show based on what I've seen. So, basically, what do I think? Well, I was kind of pleasantly surprised upon starting. Season 1, Episode 1, fittingly titled Friendship is Magic, Part 1. I was kind of surprised because, based on what I had heard, I knew the show had lore. I knew the show had continuity and world building. And it had an overarching theme. I did not expect that theme to be there from the very beginning. Especially because, while yes, this is a show that can be enjoyed by a general audience, it is still intended for a young child demographic. But I was pretty caught off guard. In a good way, though. Like, that was a pleasant surprise to see a kid's show, especially from the early 2010s, kind of get you right into the lore and the continuity. And the other thing I actually liked is that it didn't go crazy at first. They didn't, immediately, hard cut to, Pinkie Pie was something in those first few episodes. Oh, I'm getting to that. I'm getting there. So, basically, I like that they didn't, excuse me. I like that they didn't like start with like Twilight and the main six already fighting like Satan himself, and then like do like, yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got in this situation right now. Well, let me take you back. They could have easily pulled some shit like that, and I'm so glad they didn't. They ease you into it, which I really like. So yeah. But Friendship is Magic Part 1. Basically, Princess Celestia, who I guess is God, basically, you know, Twilight. Basically, Twilight is like, hey, someone evil is coming. You know, could you sort this out? And then they travel. She and Spike, who, by the way, Spike, we love you in this house. Anyway, they travel to Ponyville, and that sets the scene for the show moving forward. Friendship is Magic Part 1. Honestly, a pretty solid start to the show, I would say. You know, it's got the continuity, it's got the lore, but it's very simple. It's very easy to digest. They introduce everything at kind of a slow pace, but not too slow. They ease you into it, which I really like. But then again, that's probably because I'm still consuming kids shows at my age. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not being judgy. Friendship is Magic Part 2 basically continues from where Part 1 left off. Really good episode, I would say. Although I will say that, oh yeah, and it does introduce, you know, the rest of the characters. I will say, though, I'm a little confused why this had to be a two-parter, because not much, I mean, I haven't actually watched these episodes in a couple of months, so I could be forgetting something, but from what I remember, the story told in this initial two-parter could have easily been told in just 22 minutes, if that, but I don't know, that's just me. And then pretty much the rest of the episodes up to when I dropped it, which was around episode 7, episode 8, are kind of just standalone, self-contained stories. They have some continuity, some lore, some world building, but they're mostly standalone. But what I do like is the character progression. I like the character progression. I like how they introduce each character. Again, they could have easily either did what I said earlier about, yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got into this situation. Or they could have easily just had everyone be pre-established from the start and just assume you already know who everyone is with no introduction or context. But, oh yeah, when I say that, no disrespect to Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I just bring that up because they did exactly that. No introduction, no context, he's just there. Back to ponies, though. But I do like that they introduce everything very gradually. They don't just, like, toss you into this world and expect you to know everything right away. I also like how it's another thing I actually pretty like, because another thing I actually pretty like, yes, I did catch what I just said, audience. You can make fun of me for that later. Anyway, another thing I actually really like about the show is it's oddly relaxing. I mean, yeah, it can get a little hyper, but for the most part, it's kind of slow paced. It's kind of laid back. That could change once I finish the show, but it's very laid back. It's very relaxing from what I've seen, which I do really like. That could just be my autism. Accident, or was that on purpose? Did you accidentally flood the bathroom? Anyway, but I like how relaxed it is for those first few episodes, and I like the kind of gradual introduction of everything. It's something I do really like. Yeah. So, excuse me. What would I say is my favorite episode out of the 7? I actually really don't remember if it was 1 through 7 that I saw or 1 through 8, but I know for sure it was the first few. Just taking a little break there to catch my breath, because I've already used up my breath for about 30 minutes. But anyway, what I was trying to say, however, what would I say is my favorite episode out of the 7 or 8 that I've seen? Probably a close tie between Castle. Jesus Christ. Okay, probably a close tie between, that initial 2-parter, Friendship is Magic, Applebuck Season, and Griffin the Brush Off. Oh yeah, I guess I should bring that one up. Griffin the Brush Off, that episode, Season 1, Episode 5. I don't know what it is about that episode and that character, but it probably is my favorite of my definitive favorite of the ones that I've seen. Just because Griffin was just such a dickhead to everyone. It was just so fun to just see everyone just get absolutely berated by this mythical being. I don't know, I just have a thing for absurd characters getting thrown into realistic arguments. Which means Smiling Friends would probably be right up your alley. But anyway, we'll save Smiling Friends for another time. But for now, back to my little insert joke here. Anyway. But, Griffin the Brush Off was probably the standout episode to me. Again, it was just fun to see this asshole just berate a bunch of characters for 20 minutes. Yeah. Applebuck Season was another good episode as well. Not because it was particularly exciting by any means, but I just really started to click with Applejack as a character. Just her whole personality, even if it is very stereotypical America. Very stereotypical America. That's a sentence. But yeah, as I said though, after those first few episodes that I saw, I kind of just dropped the show. No reason, really at all, it just kind of happened. But now that my interest is kind of shooting back up, I do plan to either pick up where I left off, or even just start from scratch, and this time try to make it to the end. Oh. I didn't acknowledge this, well, I did acknowledge, but Pinkie Pie was something in those first few episodes. Oh. Let me get to that. So, basically, Pinkie Pie is pink, but we're not here to talk what she looks like. If I could say one negative aspect of the entire show so far, it's Pinkie Pie. Listen, I love kind of goofball, silly characters. I know I said I'll save it for another time, but going back to Smiling Friends, Pim, the pink one, pinkish purple, is the goofball of the group, the optimistic one. Pinkie Pie is very much that in My Little Pony, the goofy, optimistic, just off-the-wall one. I love kind of goofy, off-the-wall characters. I don't love Pinkie Pie. every single time she is on screen, she steals the show, and not in a good way. It's like the whole episode, the whole show, the whole series kind of just takes a back seat the minute she opens her mouth. It's like the minute Pinkie Pie says anything, it's just all downhill from there. Even the best episodes that she's in, she's just on a 2,960 million. 69,420. But yeah, Pinkie Pie was just annoying. I'm sure, as the show progresses, again, I only ever watched the first few episodes. For all I know, Pinkie Pie could either mellow out as the show progresses, or maybe possibly just her screen time becomes less and less, but God, I don't... Are you okay? What the fuck? Anyway, Wonder After Dark, the only show where the host gets distracted by the audience. Anyway, but yeah, Pinkie Pie was probably the only negative I could think of in the episodes that I saw. She was just on like a 90 cajillion on every possible occasion. Mother of God. But yeah, Pinkie Pie. Probably the only negative I could think of. I will say though, Pinkie Pie, in the writing sense, annoying character. In the visual sense, really cute. I would love a plushie of her. Do not twist that into a dirty joke. I will redact it if you do. I am purely being innocent. Anyway, but yeah, really the only bad thing I could think of those early episodes. Other than that, I couldn't really find. Yep, there's the joke I was referring to. Yeah, really, the only negative I could think of in those early episodes was Pinkie Pie. The rest really was kind of not a masterpiece, but flawless. Apologies for the burping. But yeah. But what do I think of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic? I think someone is actually possessed right now. Anyway, back to what I was saying. For the love of God. I might have to release like an edited down highlight reel of just me losing it. But anyway, that's going to be a fun end of the year compilation. But anyway, where I was going with this. But 7 or 8 episodes in, what do I think of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic? I quite enjoy it. I mean, I kind of figured I would, but oh, Jesus Christ. Knock, knock. Who's there? No, really, who is there? Jesus. If or who? Or is that is that Ifer or Ifer? I can't. I forgot. Anyway, back to my tangent. But 7 or 8 episodes in, I really enjoy the show. I kind of figured I would, but I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I do. And I do plan to go back and finish it someday. So, just fixing that. Yeah. I guess I'll add a little bit of additional talk, just kind of to fill out the runtime a little bit. So, to pad out the runtime, not make it too long, but just to fill this out so we're not just immediately done. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I love when I just go into brain fart mode. Okay, but back to what I was trying to say. I guess we'll add this on to my thoughts on the show and just the topic of this episode in general before we wrap this up. Not only what do I think of the show, but do I recommend the show? I'm gonna rank the... Okay, go ahead. I'd like to see your ranking. The Blu-ray player just... I forgot the tray was open, but go ahead with your ranking. Take your time. Okay, number 1, Rainbow Dash. She's rainbows. Yeah, we love Rainbow Dash in this house. She's probably my favorite too, honestly. Yeah. Alright, who's number 2? Excuse me. Again, take your time. Audience. Number 2, Twilight. Number 2, Twilight Sparkle. She's voiced by a Harley Quinn actress, and she has Spike. That's a solid ranking, I must say. Again, we love Spike in this house. I'm kind of just waiting for you to finish your ranking. I'm not hurrying, to clarify. Just not trying to interrupt. I would be a bad host to... Oh, Pinkie Pie may be annoying, but cute, and I agree. Yeah, she is annoying in those early episodes, but she's cute, energetic. I love that. Okay, so pretty solid ranking, I must say. And honestly, I completely agree with this ranking. Fluttershy, I love shy girls. Don't we all? You should see me in any social setting. In that I just stop existing in any social setting. Number 5, Applejack. Maybe low. Yeah, she's still pretty funny. I wouldn't call her, like, the best character, but she's pretty funny on the show. Plus, I just think Rarity, yeah. Granted, I don't think I've gotten to when Rarity joins the team, but yeah, that's basically her. She's just kind of there. Like, it's like the main 5 and then Rarity. I don't know, that... Yeah, but I honestly do agree with that ranking, though. Like, yeah, I can't really argue. That just is my ranking for the main 6 as well. Yeah. Oh. I had to slip in there. Slip that in there. Wonder After Dark, the only show where the host and audience feed off of each other perfectly. This is going to be a really fun show. Okay, yeah. I guess I will add this on. I said earlier that I'm a fan of My Little Pony. Do I have any toys, merchandise, DVDs, whatever? No. I do not. And before you ask, no, this is not a green screen. I know it may look like one, but the fact I can walk into the background with relative ease and pick this up very much confirms this is not a green screen. I just decided to go ahead and beat the green screen allegations before the green screen allegations ever even come. But yeah, I don't own any merchandise. I don't have anything like hidden under my bed. I don't have anything in my, I'm too lazy to get it, but my Ninja Turtles lunchbox over here. Don't have like a safe hidden under the floor like Batman or anything. Although, that will change this weekend. I have something, shove some microphone. It's pretty good. I'm quite excited for Project Novella and or Project Everlasting. Back on topic though. Yeah, I don't have any My Little Pony merchandise of any kind currently, but that will change this Saturday. I have something coming from Amazon. Again, it says it'll be arriving Saturday, so you might get a nice little follow-up to this episode this weekend. So yeah. So yeah, I don't have any My Little Pony toys, merch, whatever currently, but that's gonna change. Even though I already know the answer to this question, I'm passing that on to you. Again, even though I already know the answer to that question, but, you know, a good host engages with their audience. What this bitch? Okay. You might be wondering. I was busy. Mother of God. This is the June episode all over again with none of the disaster. Just the absurdity. Anyway, but what I was saying, you might be wondering, do I own any My Little Pony merchandise currently? Currently, no. So I'm passing that over to you, audience. Do you own any? Again, I already know the answer to that, but a good host engages with their audience. They're in my closet, yeah. I mean, you don't have to show them right this second, but, well, I have the photo, so I'll do it myself. I hide a lot of things there. Don't we all hide a lot of things in the closets? Fun fact, audience, I don't have a closet to hide in, and if you need any proof of that, there's no closet. There's no closet over there either. Being a brony is like being gay. You closet it from... Yeah. But yeah, luckily, my stupid ass does have a photo of Mr. Spider Here's merch. Here they be. Old photo, but yes, I still have this photo. So yeah. I would love to get those someday. Yeah. You receive 25 cents. I receive your soul, deal or no deal. This is for showing that photo. Can we bring it up to 26 cents? If not, no biggie. But again, 26 cents. 26, locked. Okay, you have my soul now. All future episodes will be conducted from hell and sponsored by booze. But anyway, yeah. We are at 50 minutes. I think we're getting close to the end. But before we wrap this up, I mean, I'm not going to wrap this up quite yet, but before I wrap it up, is there anything either related to My Little Pony you would like to hear about before we wrap up this episode, or anything... Is there anything either entirely related to My Little Pony you'd like to hear about before we wrap up this episode, or is there anything unrelated you would like to see before we wrap this up? Castlevania? Yeah, I figured. But yeah, if there's anything you'd like to see before we wrap up this episode, speak now or forever castle your Vania. Don't know why you're in a Castlevania mood, but okay. Where's Castlevania? Where's Castlevania? Where's Castlevania? Where's Castlevania? Where's Castlevania? Where's Castlevania? Here's Castlevania. Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, to be specific. I don't recall ever playing this a day in my life. But there's Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. And that's the only Castlevania thing I have in my possession. There we go. I told you it was worth tuning in. I knew you'd like this show. I did, yeah. New Jess lore. I don't, okay, yeah. Totally unrelated, but I guess we can wrap this up here. I don't have an authentic NES. I have one of those, like, I have the Retron, which is basically an aftermarket NES. But yeah, I have a couple NES games. This is not all the ones I own. It's the ones I currently have access to, though. Super Mario Bros. Plus Duck Hunt. You know, that's kind of a given. If you don't own that, I'm pretty sure that's punishable by Surfboard in some states. By the way, did I have good behavior? I'd say you did. Your reward will come shortly. Alright. Of course, we just saw Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. Yoshi. Okay. Damn it, I want a shirt now that says, "Okay, Daddy Jesus." Yoshi's Cookie. Yoshi is a horse, and you cannot change my mind. And lastly, Donkey Kong Classics. Again, I have more than these, but these are the four that well, 5 if you count the fact this one has 2, but these are the 4 that I currently have access to. The others that I have are currently packed up. Yeah, and they're kind of hard to get to, so that's a no-go tonight. Alright. Is there anything else you'd like to see before we wrap up this episode? Because if not, I think we're done here. So, yeah. Again, if there's anything else you'd like to see, speak now or forever blow on your cartridge. Meow. Poof. That was probably the gayest thing I could have done. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Okay, but serious answers only, audience. Okay, yeah. I will not do that ever again. What the fuck? Okay. But serious answers only. You know, if there's anything else you'd like to see before I wrap this episode up, speak now, or forever I'm running out of jokes. Also, if you have any suggestions for any future episodes of this show, leave them right here. Holds peace, Castle. Shut up. You are on a roll tonight. Okay, but, oh. I guess I should say this before we wrap this up. Was your little missed call earlier intentional, or was it just to mess with me? Dracula says, I can't tell. I'll just take that response. Okay, I guess we're about done here, but, I guess we're about done here. But before we wrap this up, hang on one second. Alright, I guess we're about done here, but before we wrap up this episode, how would you rank the show tonight? On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to tune in more than tonight? Serious answers only. 8 out of 10. Surprisingly high. I actually didn't expect that high of a score, but thank you so much. Anyway, peace and love. Legit, this was fun. I don't mean this in a gay context, but yeah. Okay, so. I also should tune in more. Yeah, alright, so. I guess before we wrap this up, I'm going to conclude with well, actually, I'll conclude with 2 stories. Or a story and a picture. Let me grab the items. Okay. So, to conclude this episode, and by I really mean me, my mom, and my sister, went to my brother's house to go see, well, he wasn't home, but the soon-to-be wife and baby. I personally didn't care. There was something I knew was there that I was after because it relates to my current brain rot. I then walked away with that brain rot. Yeah, I've been on kind of a Scrubs kick lately. It's one of my new fixations. This is season 9 on DVD. I got season 3 at FYE the other day. Now I have season 9. Filling out the collection. But that's a story for another day. Just felt like throwing that in. But, to wrap up this episode, we're going to conclude with something. Actually, we'll wait one more minute. It's something I haven't done since the show went on hiatus, but we'll wait one more minute. Okay, it's midnight. Haven't done this in a while. The funny image. Spider-Man defeats Mysterio. What does Mysterio say? Peter Benjamin Parker, Queens, New York City, New York, IP 929A211. I'm not reading the rest of that, but he done did Peter dirty. Okay, well, that was a fun show. It's been a while since I've done this, but I think I'll do it again now. So yeah, come back either... I'm not sure if I'm going to do this... I think I might do it nightly like I used to, or I could do it bi-nightly. I'm still figuring it out, but... Oh wait, what does this say? I honestly should tune in more. I need answer. I need answer. You'll get answer. But anyway, that was a fun show. That was really fun, actually. So, but unfortunately, as much as I would love to do this all night, that's all the time we have for tonight. It's getting kind of hot, kind of sweaty in here. I need to get this house coat and this shirt off so I don't sweat more. Who knows? I might do a longer episode sooner than later, but this is still the early stages of the reboot. So, that's all the time we have for tonight, but come back next time when I dissolve into madness even more. Stay safe out there. Wear your seatbelt. Keep yourself safe. Take care of others. God made you special, and He loves you very much. Good night, and have a day.